I enjoy conspiracy theories, much like an alcoholic enjoys alcohol. I like to say I could live without it, but if you walked into my room at 3 a.m., you would catch me staring at my TV watching Ancient Aliens. But before you get ahead of yourself, I'm not a tinfoil condom wearing type of conspiracy theorist. I don't believe in these theories that I'm taking in. I just like to watch the silliest content possible, and conspiracy theorists just so happen to make that kind of content. So that's exactly what we're looking at today. One of the most wacky and out there TikTokers I have ever found. And I do just want to say before we watch any of her videos, don't harass her and make fun of her for what she believes in. And if you just so happen to believe in the same stuff she does, don't torch your family tree. Don't throw a Molotov on that thing and end your family lineage. It's not that deep, bro. We're just here to have a good chuckle together and laugh at some goofy ideas. But just to give you a rough idea of how goofy these TikToks are about to get, imagine you have an uncle who you see about once a year, and you're not even really sure if he's actually your uncle or not, but you do know he posts some real wacky stuff on Facebook, some real crazy theories, like Donald Trump and Joe Biden are secretly in a gay relationship, which I would ship. And then he also says some stuff like Amy Schumer's latest stand-up comedy special was hilarious. So it's just some real unbelievable stuff that nobody really believes in, but maybe they're just doing it to feel different and cool. That's pretty much how these TikToks make you feel. So let's go ahead and hop into this first one where she's stating her beliefs on the James Webb Telescope.
Oh man, you guys have been waiting for this one, and let me tell you something. I didn't know about this because I literally give zero shits about the space and NASA because it's not even real. But let's go ahead and go.
So she's coming out of the gates swinging for the fences. She pointed out there to left center field and said, "I'm Babe Ruth, gonna knock that sucker out of here." Space isn't real. So let's see what she has to say.
Over this. Now, as you can see, this is from, I'm guessing, the Facebook page of the telescope, and we have the photos that this telescope took in space that was released yesterday. So it took them less than 24 hours, and this telescope, let me show it to you real quick. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, this big old bee. Okay, the fact, I just got to download right now. The fact that it looks like a honeycomb made out of bees is so symbolic, and it's yellow. Come on, guys, wake up.
The hive mind where bees
I say all
the
the time,
queen.
like, humanity is like little bees. They just follow the queen. They don't think for themselves. They just make the beehive. There's little worker bees.
I haven't watched this whole video yet, so the stuff she's saying, this is the genuine reaction, man.
Okay, let's put those pieces together. Now, this looks like it was made out of tile and aluminum foil.
Yep,
and this costs $10 billion. 10 B with a B, okay, for them to send us some like Photoshop looking photos, okay?
Yep, that's pretty much it. Yep, cost $10 billion. I'm guessing she's saying because she said it looks like it's made out of tile and aluminum foil. But if you don't know that aluminum foil stuff, I looked it up earlier. I also have it pulled up right here. It's called multi-layer insulation, or MLI, and it's a very light but extremely strong material, and it's used for thermal control and protects the delicate onboard instruments from the extreme temperatures of space. So, not exactly the same type of aluminum foil that you would wrap your Thanksgiving leftovers up in, but it looks similar, so I'll give it to her.
Now, how are you going to tell me that this was sent out less than 24 hours ago and came up with these pictures?
Well, it's not like they just slapped that thing together with Elmer's glue and popsicle sticks like a kindergartner would do during arts and crafts time. That thing has been in the works for decades. I believe over 20 years the James Webb Telescope has been being worked on. So, I'd say they had it pretty thought out of what they're going to do with this thing.
Apparently, this is a new photo from this telescope, okay? And let's compare it to the old one. Here's the old one.
That is it.
Okay.
That's from
you know
Hubble.
What? Let me just put them side by side for you. Yes.
Look how much better that is. The Hubble on the left, James Webb on the right.
They are literally the same exact photo, just edited a little brighter. Now the people that believe this are like, yeah, of course, it took the same path. But people who believe this are also saying that it's like looking at the sky with a grain of sand, and that grain of sand is just that little pinch of the universe. They don't even know what they're saying.
Yeah, so pretty much what she's getting at is that the space, or the distance rather, that this image was taken is like holding a grain of sand in between your fingers and holding it out at arm's length while looking up to the sky. That's the perspective that the James Webb Telescope and the Hubble had while looking at this part of the universe. Now, she's saying she's going to get into the whole spiel about how, how did they take the same paths and get the same pictures of the same parts of the universe if it's so vast and massive? Well, there's this thing. It's not like they're taking specific images like this, like they're taking a family portrait. They didn't scoot everything in and say, get in closer now, stars and universes. Let's take a picture. Pose the same way you did in this one. We're recreating the family picture that's hanging in the living room. They took massive area shots, and then they're just specifically pointing it in the direction of this part of the universe that they want to capture, and then they're just cropping it out so the images are the same. You know, it's not like they're just singling in on this stuff, taking the same exact path. They're just sending them out, and I'm sure they try to make them take the same paths, but it's just so silly the way she's thinking about this, thinking like, how did they recreate the same image? All they did was put it into Photoshop and make it brighter, when there's clearly so much more detail, but whatever.
Like, at this point, they're just repeating what they've heard and not processing the information. So you're going to tell me that this telescope magically took the same exact path out in space that it did like a decade ago to take the same exact photos, the same exact, even though it's supposed to be a little grain of sand in the whole fucking universe, but yet it followed the same exact path just out in space in less than 24 hours, was able to get these photos. So apparently this is the, one with the Hubble and one with the... Okay, how? Yeah. How did it hit the same exact fucking location, the same exact image, and just brighten it? It literally looks like somebody just had a little fun with Photoshop. And this one just looks like a kaleidoscope, like a kid's kaleidoscope. Like, come on, it's like Walmart. Now here it says it's so funny. It's so funny how these conspiracy theorists, like, they're so confident in what they're saying, but they themselves have no idea what they're talking about. Clearly, she did not do any research to see if her beliefs were right or wrong. She's just stating what she thinks as fact, which, not saying it makes conspiracy theorists look worse, but not fact-checking is probably how you became a conspiracy theorist in the first place. Now here, it says, somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known. Yep, the butthole. The goat-seeing butthole of the universe. Is that it's all a crock of shit, all the world is a stage, and they're lying to you. Like, why are there wave clouds in the sky? How do we get to wave clouds? Why does the moon look like this from far away? But like this up close.
Cloud
I took
coverage
this photo,
and
by the way,
whatnot,
when I was in Vegas on July 4th. What the fuck is this swirling thing? Is that a portal?
It's a condom.
Because it looks very similar to this photo that someone
took.
Getting really... That looks like this.
Oh, God. She just went there real quick. Hold up. This. She just went from the moon. Okay. I don't know how we got here, but she went from the moon to whatever that is really... It's kind of scarily quickly. I don't know what that is, but it looks like a bunch of eyeballs in a burning circle.
This. And tell me this doesn't look like a coffin.
It does.
Beehive on top of a coffin? Wake up!
It definitely does look like a beehive on top of a coffin, but I don't know exactly how that furthers your point that space isn't real and this telescope isn't real or whatever. But hey, if you're curious to see more of her beliefs on space, I got you hooked up, man. I'm like your drug dealer. I'll give you another shot of heroin. I'll even inject the needle for you. Here we go.
Yes, let's talk about it, because a lot of people were like, what do you mean that you think that space isn't real? Yep. So you don't believe in space? Yep. I don't believe in NASA's version of space.
Here we go.
Why don't I believe in NASA's version of space?
My greasy paws are getting ready.
Okay. Obviously, I do believe that there is life outside of this bubble that we live in. What I don't believe is this. Now, why don't I believe that we live on this floating rock in space? Because every civilization before us has believed that we live in a firmament.
So every civilization has believed before us that we live in a firmament. Well, also, hate to break it to you, these ancient civilizations have a very outdated way of living. Most of them had slaves. We don't still believe in slavery, so that is one of the things that they got wrong. So what's to say that their idea of a firmament wasn't also very wrong? She has the Egyptian example right there, and Egyptians had slaves, they used them to build their little wacky pyramids. So, hey, call me crazy, but I don't think slavery's too cool. And if they were wrong about one idea, they're probably wrong about a couple others as well, You can't base your ideas off of ancient civilizations who are so much less advanced. All these civilizations probably also pooped in their own hands and then slung it at each other for fun. I wish we still did that. That sounds like a heck of a time. Oh my god. Let's keep going.
You're going to tell me that all of these people were wrong.
Yep.
Even the Masonic one
That's what I'm
shows a
telling you.
firmament, and that the only people that were correct was the Roman
Oh,
Empire.
whoa.
The Roman
Hold up. Before she gets in the Roman Empire, stop pausing. She got this from the official Flat Earth subreddit. Yikes. Zoinks. If your big piece of evidence comes from the official Flat Earth Reddit, might take your credibility points down a little bit, you know? But she's about to go into a rant about the Roman Empire and NASA. Somehow that relates to round Earth. She thinks the world is flat with a firmament around it, which basically means we live on a flat Earth in a bubble and everything outside of it is water.
The Roman Empire, who colonized the entire world. Julius Caesar was the one who changed the calendar. The Roman Catholics were the ones who created Christianity. They're the ones who changed the Bible. They're the ones who crucified Jesus and had us worship him, even though Jesus was just a fourth.
I thought the Jews crucified Jesus. Maybe that's the same thing. I don't know.
Dimensional being teaching us how to be like him, not to worship him. And
so she just used Jesus as somehow relating to the earth being flat, and he's like a fourth dimensional creature. We're getting real conspiratorial, man. This is giving me such a conspiratorial boner right now. Not a real boner, not a real one, a theoretical boner.
Honestly, do you really want to follow the Roman Empire? Knowing everything that the Catholic Church does, knowing that Christopher Columbus colonized every colony that he possibly could,
he was a bad dude,
enslaved your ancestors, and they
so she's talking about enslaving people. So we shouldn't believe the Roman Empire, which leads to NASA and the world being round, because the Roman Empire connects to Christopher Columbus, who enslaved a bunch of people. But the Egyptians also did, and probably a couple other of those civilizations you believe in, the ancient ones, but you still believe them? Poked some holes in that condom of yours, did I?
Will change the history of time, and we're products of colonization. Now, we know that The Simpsons and cartoons and entertainment tells us everything right to our faces. So let's see.
Don't tell me she's gonna use The Simpsons to prove the Earth is flat. Oh, God, don't do it.
What they have to say.
Don't make yourself look goofy.
We're back.
Oh, she's doing it.
She's doing it. It's a ball going back. And the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.
Is she really using... Hold on here. She's really using a Simpsons clip, and on top of that, one that has an announcer that's a hot dog, a taco, a burrito, and a pretzel. This is her evidence that the Earth is a firmament, that we live in a bubble with water outside of it. This is what I live for, man. This is what I'll live for right here.
Dream's reality wide open. Groundskeepers are trying to put on the tarp, but it turned into a manta ray and stung them all. Now we'll be right back after this word from Oxygen, which Homer desperately needs to live.
Why is she looking so, like, entitled?
Homer, the roof is leaking.
Do you not see how silly you look right now? So, we're going into Hillary Clinton now. Okay.
Oh, we weren't able to shatter that hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you. It's got about 18 million cracks in it. I know, we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but...
So she's using the Simpsons clip as well as Hillary Clinton saying a metaphorical glass ceiling is about to break as her evidence that we live in a firmament. All I'm going to say is, if you believe in a flat Earth with a firmament around it or whatever over a round Earth based on the evidence, that's pretty crazy, because your evidence is ancient civilization drawings compared to current pictures that we take with satellites and telescopes that get sent out into space. And then your other evidence is The Simpsons and speeches where Hillary Clinton is using metaphors to talk about a glass ceiling over science and research. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, what did I do in my life to get to witness this beautiful content, man? Oh, Lord. I'm so blessed to be born in this time, the TikTok ages where I can watch people do stuff like this. I could have not got this kind of entertainment unless I was like a king back in the medieval times, and I can make a jester do the Fortnite dances for me, you know, make him take the L and all that kind of stuff. This is so great.
Someday, someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think.
As you can see, they literally put it in our freaking faces every day.
Well, I guess she's trying to say that the Simpsons creators and Hillary Clinton know stuff that we don't about the world, and they're shoving it in our faces, which, you know, they also put a bunch of other crazy stuff in our faces. You know, they throw superheroes everywhere, and obviously superheroes aren't real, and just so many other things that it's just not a good argument whatsoever. But hey, we'll give her this one. We'll give her this one, you know. Everyone says the Simpsons predict stuff and they know stuff that we don't, even though all those predictions most of the time come out after the fact. We'll give it to them.
My theory is that space is water. I believe that we live in
Here
a
it is.
bubble inside a big body of water.
Yep.
I believe that water is God and God is
Oh,
water.
wasn't
And we
expecting that.
are 70% water. We come from
So
water.
we're
There have
God.
been children who said, I remember
So-
coming from water. I personally remember coming from water.
You don't remember coming from water. Nobody remembers. Okay, let me tell you something here. Let me give you a little lesson. Set you on my lap like I'm Santa Claus and give you a little lesson here. Nobody remembers anything from before the ages of like 3 to 4. Because me personally, the first memory I have was like spawning in front of the TV, watching SpongeBob eating dinosaur chicken nuggies or something. You don't remember anything when you were born. You don't remember being in water and coming from water. No, you don't. You're full of I don't know what a conspiracy theorist like. You're full of baloney, lady. You do not remember where you came from. If you did, that would just X out all of the religious beliefs we have, all the philosophical debates we have about where we go after we die and where we were before we were born. You don't know. You might think you know, but you don't have that vivid memory. Even my earliest memories, even memories from like 2 months ago, are very blurry to me. So you definitely don't remember what happened before you were pushed out of your mother's vagina.
I believe that trees are oxygen and trees give us life within this firmament. That is why we need to stop cutting them down and wake up.
She got one thing right in that entire video. Trees do give us the stuff necessary to breathe. She knows some science. That's the only science she believes, though. The rest of it's a bunch of hoopla, a bunch of hearsay, a bunch of stuff that only sheeps and bees who follow the queen believe in. I love this stuff so much, man. Now, this is the last thing I want to show you that she posted. Just a bit more of her beliefs about space. She does have a lot of other wacky conspiratorial beliefs, but the space stuff was the most interesting to me, so that's why I'm going over it right now. So now let's see what her beliefs are on the moon, Earth's moon.
I do believe that there is a moon, but I believe that it's like a space station. I know, it's so crazy. But here's the thing. I think that the moon is hollow.
That just made me
I
tee-hee.
think that the moon could also be plasma. I think that the moon, I don't think that the moon lives within the dome. I think the moon that we're seeing right now is a fake moon that is within the dome, just like the sun. I think that the sun is within the dome. I do think that there is a real moon that we aren't seeing. I think that there is a moon outside of the dome that is used as a space station, and that beings have been able to go there. I don't believe that beings can go there without there being a portal opened up for higher dimensional beings to come in and take beings out of it. Now, I'm getting
What do I even say to this, man? Holy. I don't know what to say. She's just putting so much stuff out there that all I can do is shake my head like I'm intently listening to what she's saying. You know, when you're in a conversation you don't want to be in, so you just sit there and awkwardly smile and go, yeah, That's all I got. That's all I got to say.
out of it. Now, I'm getting this information from something that I saw with somebody channeling higher dimensional beings asking, have we landed on the moon? And this has been said multiple times by multiple channelers. We have landed on the moon, but not in the way that they told you. There are beings that can go to the moon because they are accessed by like Galactic Federation or by other higher dimensional beings.
So she's talking about Galactic Federation's higher dimensional beings. Big condom monsters and everything. What in the god? What is going on? What in science's name is going on? What do I say to this? She's talking about portals, hollow moon, the glass bubble around us again, space, the sun's in the bubble, the moon's not in the bubble, a fake moon, a fake sun. Dear God. This is just like an overload on my brain right now. Like in the movies when they defeat the robot that goes AWOL by just overloading it with information, making it implode from like an impossible scenario. That's what I feel like right now. My self, like I'm imploding on the inside. I cannot compute.
They come in with a special ship of some kind or something, and then they probably a UFO, then they load these beings, humans or whatever, which obviously have a connection to higher dimensions because we're not doing it, but there are other elite probably that can go, and then they get on this ship and then they go out, and then they have these meetings over here on the moon, which is a space station. I know it's so crazy, but I really do believe that the moon is just a big space station and that us humans cannot access it because we cannot leave the dome without their permission, and they're the ones who can come in and pick us up to go back out and bring us back.
Who is they? By elites and stuff, and they, does she mean like Jeff Bezos and all the rich people, or does she mean like aliens, like from another planet? Yeah, she's right about it being crazy. Is it really so much harder to believe that it's just a floating space rock that turned into a moon that orbits our Earth than to believe this crazy space station stuff? Like, that you gotta be doing that just to be different and, like, have your own thoughts, you know? Like, to think you're, like, different from everybody else. That's the only thing that makes sense. But yeah, man, that's it. That's the conspiracy theories that I just wanted to show you today because I love watching this stuff. It makes me feel like I just sat through a 5-hour orientation and the person was speaking in a foreign language the entire time. I understood nothing, but I definitely heard some sounds, you know? Something happened. I don't exactly know what, but I'm here for it the whole time. I'll be pumping my fist and be a good audience member and let you speak your thoughts. But yeah, man, other than that, I'll catch you next time. Stay woke.